Back in 2014, developer Yacht Club Games released Shovel Knight off the back of a successful Kickstarter. This 8-bit 2D side-scroller was loved by many, and their legacy continues here in 2025 with Mina the Hollower. This game has a slightly different graphical style but still has a 2D platformer foundation with RPG systems. The release date is not until October 31st, but the team has released a demo available on the Nintendo Switch family of systems. I've played through it 3 times, and I'm here to break down everything I've learned and my surface level thoughts. What's up? How's it going, people? If you like this content and want to support the channel, then please consider hitting the like and subscribe, or if you don't like it, then leave a thumbs down and let me know how I can be better for you. The demo is roughly 30 to 45 minutes, but that can vary a bit as the bosses can be quite challenging. For example, my first run took me almost an hour and a half to complete, but the subsequent 2 took me around 30 minutes each. I was playing on the Nintendo Switch 2. As the demo kicks off, the first thing that immediately crossed my mind is the incredible pixel art graphical style. There is a mini opening sequence to get to the title screen that is effectively a cutscene, and it's simply gorgeous. When in the game itself, the sprite work is fantastic. The developers have tried to recreate the 8-bit visuals of the Game Boy Color, but with more vibrance as well as smoother looking animations, as this is 2025 after all. The game even supports 120 frames per second on the Switch 2, which is something I never thought I'd say. The colorway of Mina the Hollower is slightly dark and sinister, as this seems like it is trying to be a spooky game. It releases on Halloween after all. The trailers and breakdown on the website seem to suggest there'll be more haunting and ghostly enemies to overcome, but I didn't really get that vibe from the demo. But how does it play? Well, ultimately, Mina the Hollower is a 2D action RPG. At the very beginning of the game, and we know this is the actual beginning as the developers have said that you can carry your progress from the demo over on release, you get a choice between 3 weapons. The weapon you choose here is the one that you will be using for your whole playthrough. This is the main reason why I have 3 completed saves, so that I could try each of the weapons available. Whichever one you go with will change your playstyle. The hammer is slow and powerful with short to mid-range damage. The mace is like a whip that extends out in front of you for mid to long range damage, and finally the dual daggers are speedy but can only damage at close range. I struggled with the hammer because the only effective way to do damage is with a charge attack. The charge attack locks your direction but allows you to dodge roll to avoid incoming attacks. The dodge roll is fantastic in this, but the fact it locks your direction in the 2D game makes it a bit too precise for what I wanted from the combat. The mace was easily my favorite weapon. It is a ranged attack that I think complements the tempo and nature of the 2D environment. The attack itself is quick and snappy, allowing you to pick targets off effectively. There is no charge attack for this weapon though, and therefore no dodge roll. The dual daggers were middle of the pack for me, not my favorite but not the worst either. These are the weapons with the speediest attacks, but they have an extremely small range, meaning you need to get up close to the action. It goes without saying that these daggers have the highest potential for trading damage with the enemy, so it may even be considered harder. In reality though, I still found the hammer more difficult simply because I couldn't get my head around its attack style. Like the mace, the daggers do not have a charge attack, and so there is no dodge roll here, which is a shame as it is the weapon with the most need for one. That doesn't mean there is no dodge in the game at all though. Mina is a hollower, meaning that she can burrow underground. Holding the jump button causes Mina to dig underground, where you can move around for a short period. This is essentially the game's dodge, but the animation is so long that it rarely feels good to use. Maybe it's just a case of rewiring the brain, because you have to execute the burrow so much earlier than feels right in order to avoid an incoming attack. I wonder if the devs would consider shortening the animation time, or maybe they do just want to switch the rhythm up. I was getting more of a hang of it over my playthroughs, but I still walk away with the feeling that it isn't intuitive. There are more primary weapons that will be with the full release, as is noted in the help screens, but these 3 were the only ones we get to play with for now. Additionally to the primary weapons, you have side weapons. In the demo, these came in the form of throwable daggers or a throwable axe. I am certain there will be more on full release though, because in the codex on the pause screen there is a whole section about sidearm discovery. The daggers are like a boomerang. You sling them out and they pause at their apex, dealing damage before returning back towards you. The axe is lobbed in an arced throw, dealing heavy damage when it impacts the ground. The amount of use your side weapons get depends on a resource you can find when out in the world. world. They are represented by blue bottles and can be found by destroying environments or killing enemies. You can have up to 20 charges on your side weapons through finding these consumables. When you die though, you lose your side weapons and so must find them again, also out in the world the same way the consumables are found. Mina the Hollower is an action RPG and so you must level up your stats. There are 3 stats: attack power, defense, and sidearms. These are basic stats, but I don't think you need to add more complexity to this game or it'll lose its charm. This stat spread is perfect in my opinion. This title also has Souls-like qualities, as the currency you get from defeating enemies to spend on leveling up, which are bones by the way, can be lost on death if not recovered from your place of death. Bosses will absorb your bones too, meaning that you may need to defeat them to get it back, which kinda sucked as the boss fights are not easy. There is a quality of life safety measure to counter this though, and that is bone stones. On the stat screen where you level up, you can choose to convert your bones into a bone stone instead, which stores it in a machine at your rest checkpoints to be used at a future time. I love this feature. Talking of rest checkpoints, these are underground and you must burrow into them to enter, which I think is a nice touch for this little mouse. In here you have your weapons chest, which only gave us access to one weapon in the demo, but hopefully allows you to have the entire arsenal in the full release. Next to this is the trinket chest, where you can equip trinkets, which I imagine will provide some kind of buffs, but weirdly I couldn't find a single trinket across the demo at all, so I can't actually comment further on this. Then there is the bone converter machine, where you convert the previously mentioned bone stones into bones to be spent on leveling up. The final thing in this checkpoint area is your health vial restock station. Healing in this game works in a slightly different way to many action RPGs. It is sort of like the rallying mechanic in Bloodborne and Lies of P, but with a crucial difference. Your health is represented in red at the bottom of the screen. When this depletes, you can fill it up with a yellow bar by successfully hitting opponents, smashing things, or by finding yellow flowers. This yellow bar is what your health vials will replenish. Therefore, you want this yellow bar as full as possible before using a vial or you will waste it. This promotes aggressive and calculated gameplay, which I do like, but it does make it more difficult. You can't just heal, you have to attack first, and that is a challenge in itself. It is the common reaction to hide in your shell and heal when your health is low and not charge into combat. Once again, I think this game does just work with a different rhythm that takes some time to get used to. There are 2 boss encounters in this demo to test your mettle against. Well, technically 3, but the first one you're supposed to lose to for the story to progress. Think the Grafted Scion from Elden Ring. Much like the Grafted Scion though, I'm sure you could technically beat this boss for a secret cutscene or item, but I am far from being skilled enough for that. The 2 main bosses though were challenging and definitely took some time getting used to, given the way Mina moves in the 2D space. The first was a hulking beast with heavy swings and leaping jump attacks. I think I actually found this one harder because I couldn't quite lock down the depth perception and dodge timing. The second boss was more fleshed out though, with several different movesets and a second phase that caused a new moveset to appear. This boss was fast paced and varied, also with range attacks where they summoned tornadoes to swirl around the arena. This boss is the hurdle that comes at the very end of the demo and was a fitting finale that I enjoyed, albeit taking me several attempts on my first run. In summary, I did like the combat, especially when using the mace, and both boss fights this demo holds were challenging but fantastic and enjoyable to overcome. The RPG systems are slight but perfectly fitting for this type of game, and there are nice additions with the side weapons and bone stones. My reservations lie with the healing and the burrow dodge, but as I keep saying, maybe I just need to get used to them. The burrow does however work really well with platforming, as it gives Mina a jumping boost. The platforming side of this game is excellent with precision jumps and obstacles to overcome, often with an enemy trying to attack you at the same time. I didn't find anything too hard, but it wasn't a walk in the park. The main path platforming was easier than the ones off to the side that had rewards as you would expect. I would think that later in the game there'll be some pretty challenging sections. The demo actually starts out with Mina reading a letter from the spokesperson of the Baron of Ossex, the main city in this world. It seems that Mina, alongside being a hollower, is also an inventor. What a remarkable little mouse. house. What Mina invented was something called spark generators, and from what I could glean, these provide crucial power to the isle and allows it to prosper. This newfound darkness has a sinister root, and it's up to Mina to weed it out and uncover the secrets. From what I could see, the game seems to be structured in a way where Mina will travel out to different locales to restore its spark generator and get them all up and running one by one. The story does sound intriguing, and I'm looking forward to it. To accompany this, we get a fantastic old school chiptune OST composed by Jake Kaufman, continuing his work with these developers after Shovel Knight. Believe me, it sounds great. The whole game is just oozing with retro goodness. In conclusion, I enjoyed my time with Mina the Hollower's demo. This game really has the juice when it comes to its beautiful pixel art graphics, retro soundtrack, and its solid game systems. There is so much more that this demo doesn't touch on though. There are several primary and side weapons to find, and not to mention the hundreds of trinkets. I thought the boss fights were really good, and so I can't wait to see what other larger than life encounters we come across. The end screen says that you can explore the world in any order, and that freedom brings back positive memories of some of my favorite games. I'm expecting this to be one that is a must play for me, and something you should circle in your calendars if you like the look of it. Mina the Hollower releases on October 31st. Why don't you check out my channel for other quick looks like the Adventures of Elliot, or maybe you'd rather some of my reviews, spoilercast, or showcase breakdowns. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribe, or if you don't like it, then leave a thumbs down and I will try to be better next time. Let me know in the comments below if you are looking forward to Mina the Hollower, and for everything else casual gamer, keep it here. Peace and love.